Alright, here's a video on repairing a sink drain, which actually I'm going to do both sink drains. The reason why is I've got a leak in these drains that I had installed a couple years ago. They are not exactly what they cracked up to be. This is the strainer for one of the drains. It's really good, or it seemed to be really good because of the depth of this. If you got stuff in it, you just pull the basket out, throw it in the trash. The only problem is, you notice the rubber on the bottom, this piece, that used to be flat. Now it's all wavy. I'm assuming hot water had done that. Whenever you would put it in the sink, you just press down and it seals it. Well, after hot water going through it a couple times, it really didn't seal very well. And then not only that, got a problem with the actual construction of the drain itself. If you'll notice, right towards the bottom, I've got a flashlight in one hand, and let me see if I can. There we go. That'll give us some light. Right here, this right here is plastic, and there's a little gasket right in between it, and then got the metal body of the drain. This thing is actually leaking from, there we go, it's actually leaking in between this right here, not at all my connections. It's doing it on both of them. This is not the first time that something has been wrong with it. You can actually see a little bit of moisture right in there. And then also towards the top of it, same thing. There is leakage. You can see the staining from it that has come down from the in between the plastic and the metal. It's leaked right there. And I've had a ton of plumber's putty, but you can actually see some squeezed out right there in between the gasket and the actual sink. So I'm not having any leakage up here. For some reason there's leakage coming right here, even though I put a whole bunch of tape on it, and there's leakage there. And of course it piles up and comes down, and it falls underneath the sink and makes a mess. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm replacing the whole setup. I've got 2 new drains, and these are all metal. So these are going to be really good, or they should be. Got a metal ring on the bottom, got a metal drainer, and even the stopper or drain plug is metal. Every bit of it is metal. The only thing that's not metal is a little gasket right there that goes down inside the drain pipe. And then I'm going to do a little different setup than what's underneath here. You got the 2 lines going into one P-trap. Well, I'll show you when I pull this off. You'll be able to see that there's gunk built up inside of here, which goes directly up to the drain. And so if there's any type of nasty scent or smell coming off of it, that could be seeping out into the house. I've never really noticed anything, but I know when I take this off and take a whiff inside that pipe, it's going to stink. So I'm going to put a P-trap coming off of each side of my sink, and then it's going to be joined with a T-joint, and then it's going to go into the drain in the wall. So, alright, so the first thing is to disconnect all this stuff, and that's what we're going to do from here. Alright, so I've got everything disconnected, and I actually have everything reassembled with the new setup. I had some electronic failure on my camera, so the videos that I took of me actually doing the work and making the change out and everything, they just I don't know where they went. But anyway, and plus this is an old camera, as you can probably tell by the quality of the video. But anyway, so just show you, this is one of the pipes that I'd taken out, all the gunk built up in it, and it stinks like crazy. So I'm pretty pleased with the idea of putting the 2 P-traps in. I now have both my new drains in. I've actually had tested it. No water leaking. I even ate lunch and ran some stuff down the drain from a pot of leftover spaghetti. So everything works. There is my new setup. Some light on this. There we go. There's my new setup with 2 P-traps going in. And what I had done is I first started with this back piece right here. And of course this one is new. So I kind of got an estimate of how far it would need to come out. And I cut it off. Left me plenty of room to work with, just in case I needed to make any difference or modification. And so I'm glad I did, because when I first done this, I thought this piece would be out here, lined up with my drains. But instead of that being the case, this drain right here, with it being so close to the drain in the wall, you know, there's not much space right there. If I had a P-trap coming at a right angle from the drain itself, as you can see, there's a little curvature. It's going this way instead of this is the direction I was thinking I was going to have it. But this top piece would have been about right here. As you can see, that would not have worked. So I had to arch it back just a little bit. So I had to arch this one back just a little bit. And so it would line up with my T. And so I had to cut just a little bit off back here to get that to go in. Got everything fixed up real good. And what was even greater was this piece right here was from the original cut that I had made off of this pipe. So that one purchase right here covered this and this piece. And then off my little downspouts right here, I've got one little bitty piece right in there. I mean, there's just a little gap, as you can see, in between the two. And so that's the part that I had the most concern about, if it was going to leak or not, because it was so small. I'm trying to get it in there. And now, each piece, of course, there's the nut, and underneath the nut is a gasket that is on the pipe. And of course, the gasket gets pushed down inside of your connection, and that way it gives it a seal. And then, one thing you want to keep in mind if you do this is wherever you put tape at, you want to make sure that you put your tape going in the direction that you're putting your nut on. Because if you put it in the opposite direction, if you put your tape going this way, and then you put your nut on, and you're going that way, it's just going to peel that tape off. So, just some little thoughts on that. But anyway, got it installed. There's my new setup. Works great. Nothing leaking. And I'll definitely be using a lot more Drano, because those pipes were awful. And so there's definitely probably some smell coming off into the house that we may not have noticed before from just being used to it, which is scary. So, anyway, there it is. Looks great. Thanks for watching. And really wish I could have had the other videos. So maybe this is going to just encourage me to go out and buy a new camera. So, anyway, alright, thanks.